They're just wrong. The media, to recruiters, that may even be your branch manager. Whether you are a consumer, an entrepreneur, a sales professional, real estate agent, or a mortgage loan originator, you're gonna want to tune in to today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC
John Coleman.
Yo, what's poppin'?
Bro, just got the agenda for Lower's annual sales conference.
Turn up for a check.
Banging! You're turning up for a check. I am turning up because I can't wait to meet all my new colleagues, but more importantly, to invest in the 200 plus loan officers that are going to be in Columbus, Ohio at the lower.com field. Bro, this has been such a rejuvenation in my career.
I can tell.
And we're just getting started. Like, it's been a long minute. There was a hot minute with my old employer. We were the talk of the town. We were the it girl, right? And then for the past 5 years, not so much. To be the talk of the town, to be the company that people want to be at, that has the money and the vision to execute on all of these ideas. Yes, it's fun. Like, don't get me wrong, transition sucks. Like, I don't care who you are, how great your company is, transitioning from one company to the other company, like, none of that's ever fun. And sometimes for me, it's like, oh, I don't know how to do my email signature. I don't know how to submit expense reports. You know, I don't know who to call when this doesn't go my way. Like, that's what I mean by it sucks. Like, it doesn't suck like, oh my gosh, they don't get my loans closed. Like, no, that would be a terrible onboard. That'd be terrible. I'm talking about just like the things that you do or don't know. But here I am going into month 2, month 3, and I'm like, we're just getting started. Like, who wants to be a part of this is where I'm at. Who wants to be a part of it? I know we're not a good fit for everybody. I know we can't hire everybody. And there's certain markets where we have a bigger appetite and certain markets we have a smaller appetite. But yo, I'll throw it out there. If you want to learn more about my excitement, hit me up. Like, literally, first name Dustin, last name Owen on LinkedIn is the best way to connect with me, period, bar none. If you want to hit us up on Instagram, you can at the Loan Officer Podcast, or my first name, my last name. And my lower email address is pretty easy. It's dowen@lower.com. So you can always try that, but I'll tell you, LinkedIn is by far my jam. So anyhow, you're asking what's popping. I know last episode you're like, well, it doesn't really care what's popping. I really don't care. Can we just get on with the episode? Well, that's what's popping. And by the way, did you notice?
Shit.
Hey, no Band-Aid on the nose, homie.
Congratulations.
No Band-Aid on the nose. I tried that whole Nelly look. I kind of tried the Alex Hormozy, but not across the bridge. I just went up where your nose ring would be.
I don't think I'm going to do it.
Good for you. That's a good decision. I like that one. I support that decision. There's so many things that you decide on, John, that I don't support. That is one that I do support. But I'm happy to announce I do not have skin cancer on my nose.
Good job.
They biopsied that spot. I'm now spotless, and it wasn't cancerous.
Hey, well, at least that's one thing that they got right.
That's one thing they got right, but we're going to talk about 5 things they got wrong. Like 3, 2, 1, in that order.
That's 5, okay.
3 for the media, 2 for recruiters, and 1 for your branch manager. I'm sure we could do this all day, but the people don't want to sit on YouTube and watch this shit all day. They should. I mean, we have 480 plus episodes, 500 plus total videos just on YouTube. But they probably don't.
Let's jump right in, okay.
Yeah, about damn time.
The 5 things that they get wrong.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Start with the media.
Okay.
Number 1, the media loves, and we just saw this, they love talking about the Fed funds rate. The Federal Reserve is going to increase rates. The Federal Reserve is going to drop interest rates. Then they want to correlate it to home sales and mortgage rates as if there's a direct correlation. And there's not a direct correlation. Like, literally, when we prognosticated this, because yours truly is what they call a SME, subject matter expert, in September when the Federal Reserve lowered their interest rate, their Fed funds rate, 50 basis points or 0.5%, mortgage rates went up that day. Okay, so y'all, you're being misled by the media yet again.
Sheeple.
When you want to correlate dollar for dollar, apples for apples, what the Federal Reserve does with mortgage rates. What the Federal Reserve says, that can impact the daily trading of mortgage-backed securities, at which point mortgage rates could trade higher or lower based on what the Federal Reserve says. The monetary policy, things that they do behind the scenes, right? If they start purchasing a bunch of mortgage-backed securities, something the Federal Reserve has done in the past and could continue to do, that if they're purchasing a bunch of mortgage-backed securities, that means they are a buyer of these bonds. That is going to drive the price of those bonds up, which drops the yield down. The yield is your interest rate. There's things the Federal Reserve can do and say that could impact the daily trading of mortgage-backed securities or bonds, which impacts mortgage rates. But please know, the Federal Reserve isn't going to do something with their Fed funds rate, and mortgage rates are just going to do something in the same direction. So that is number one. Please just understand that. And what's sad is to see so many mortgage companies, lenders, real estate agents, or talking heads on TV use that as clickbait. That's what they do. But then it's improperly educating the consumer, because now the consumer is left to believe that one leads to the other.
We need dumb, ignorant, uninformed consumers to click and watch the clickbait so we can drive higher ad revenue and sell more sponsorships, so then we make more money and the cycle continues, Dustin.
I mean, that has been the MO for probably the past 3,000 years.
You try to change it, you'll be ending up floating face down in the Hudson River. Next question.
All right, let's go. Next question. We'll jump right into it. I'm not even going to disagree with that, John. Not one bit. All right, so the second thing, and this is a mortgage industry expert. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yes, you
me.
are.
Yeah, this is me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, this is me, right? This is like things that fire me up. The second thing that the media just gets wrong.
Yeah.
Y'all, when you buy a house, it's not a 30-year decision. Very rarely is it a 30-year decision. Your mortgage sure as hell isn't a 30-year decision. Like, how many people do you know have actually owned their house for 30 years?
There's people I know that have still make mortgage payments after like 40 years.
Okay. But even that decision to obtain that home loan wasn't a 30 or 40-year decision. I look at my parents who are in their 70s. I mean, the house that they raised me in was the house they owned the longest. They owned it for 19 years. 19 years, and I'm sure if I asked my father, he probably had 3 mortgages on that home at any given time. I look at the house that I raised my family in. And I've been in that home for what's going to end up being close to about 15 or 16 years before I eventually look to sell it. And even that home, I'm on my second mortgage. So owned it for 17 years. I had 2 mortgages. So please stop looking at home ownership and the mortgage that you obtain to purchase that home as a 30-year decision. Typically, your home is a 5 to 15-year decision, and your mortgage is a 5 to 7-year decision. And right now, if you're obtaining a home loan, there's a good chance that you're probably going to get a new home loan in a year or two as rates continue to come down. Okay, so I've seen it. I've even seen it with my friends in the broker world, which I love my broker friends. I literally love people over at Rocket, great relationships with them, great relationships with United Wholesale Mortgage. We've had Alan Baydu on the show.
Shout out, Alan.
I can't wait to have Matt Ishby on the show one day. I want to do things with AIM, like, hey guys, next year would love to come out and participate in your event, give a keynote, bring some value, maybe even pump and promote the event from the platform we have here at TLOP. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But like, there's this whole like, oh, brokers are better, brokers are best. And I'm not denying they are or aren't. Like, that's not even a conversation I'm willing to have. But what I don't like is when they try to look at the cost savings, assuming a mortgage broker helps a consumer get a cheaper interest rate than their bank did. Okay. And let's just say they did, but then they want to take that savings of roughly $40 a month and multiply it by 360 months. I'm like, no, multiply that by like, I don't know, 36 to 84 months. Don't get me wrong. It's a savings, but the savings is nowhere as grand as one would want you to believe. And they're not the only one to do it. That's like a most recent example. Mm-hmm. I've seen Yahoo Finance do stuff like that. I've seen things written in Zillow that do things like that. Things up on NerdWallet and Bankrate. I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, quit looking at this as if it's truly a 30-year decision. Rarely does someone, like outliers, own the same home for 30 years? Outliers have the same exact mortgage for 30 years. So that's number 2, where like they get it wrong. They're steering you in the wrong direction. You're being misled. The third thing, and it's still very much mortgage and real estate specific, it's understanding that there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all mortgage. Like the fact that we even talk about, well, mortgage rates did X today. Well, what does that really mean? There's 21 factors that go into someone's interest rate. So John, you have 21 factors. I have 21 factors. Your auntie has 21 factors. My cousin has 21 factors. And those combination of factors are always going to be a little bit different, right? Your loan to value is different than my loan to value. Your credit score is better than my credit score. You have one borrower. I have 2 borrowers. I'm buying a primary home using FHA. You're buying a second home going conventional. You don't want to have your taxes and escrow, your tax and insurance escrowed. I want mine escrowed. Like there's all these factors that go into someone's interest rate. To think that there is a one size fits all mortgage or there's one standard interest rate. No, that's not even close to it. Mortgages are nothing more than financial instruments that help you purchase real estate. And those financial instruments need to be tailor-made to match each individual home buyer's financial needs, wants, and goals. And they need to be specifically drafted around A, will they qualify, but B, will they help that person match their financial needs, wants, and goals. So where the media is steering you in the wrong direction, where they're not fully educating you, is when anytime they make you believe there's a one-size-fits-all mortgage or there's a interest rate when it comes to home loans. Wrong answer. That is not correct.
Well said, Dustin.
You ready to go into recruiters?
Yeah.
I mean, and recruiters are really any industry. I'm obviously a little bit more passionate about mortgage, but my friends in real estate can probably attest to this. My friends who are computer programmers who get recruited all the time, or that are nurses that get recruited all the time. I mean, even a buddy of mine that was being recruited to go work in like, a civilian job, but doing defense in the Middle East for U.S. embassies, like that, utilize the recruiting services. And recruiters have a job, and that's put butts in seats. Get people to sign on the dotted line. The military has recruiters. In fact, some of the best mortgage professionals that are transitioning out of military and into mortgage, I love those that have a background in recruiting, because recruiting is sales. But recruiting also sometimes gets a bad reputation for probably the right reasons, because recruiters sometimes fudge, or they mislead, or they leave out details in order to get someone to see something through a certain lens, so they sign on the dotted line. And there's 2 things that stand out the most. And by the way, in my new role over at Lower, I'm doing a ton of onboarding, business development, team building, creation of new divisions, new areas, right? So some would say, oh, DO, you must be out recruiting. I'm like, well, I work with our recruiting department, right? I have some great recruiters who they're out doing their thing. And yes, when someone is very interested in joining Lower, a lot of times I'm one of 6 or 8 people they may talk to about whether or not this would be a good career decision for them or not. Whether or not they'd be a good fit for Lower, whether or not Lower would be a good fit for them. Like those are conversations that are in my wheelhouse and part of my job description. So you can say I'm pretty intimate to this. And there's 2 things that stand out that I see on the recruiting trail. And one of these, I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Greg Scher over at NFM Lending, who Greg's been on the show, and he's a massive advocate for our industry. And follow him on LinkedIn if you're not already doing so. But Greg created a post on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh my gosh, spot on. And I think there's others that were like spot on. So I think the one thing that is very misleading, or where recruiters are doing a disservice to those that they try to serve, is when they talk shit about the other lenders. Because as a recruiter, you're trying to pull someone from a company they're currently working for. Or as a recruiter, you're trying to prevent a professional who is entertaining career opportunities outside of where they work now. Mm-hmm. You're trying to get them to come to you and not to the other 1 or 2. But you don't need to bash where John currently works. So John currently works at T-Lop Lending. And John reached out to me because he wants to learn more about what excites me about being over at Lower. Okay, the whole time I'm talking to John, if I am a really good recruiter, I should not be bashing T-Lop Lending. I shouldn't. What I should be doing is talking about the vision we have over at Lower, our 3-year, our 5-year, our 7-year goals. I should be learning about John's 3-year, 5-year, 7-year goals and truly looking for synergies where what John wants out of his career is also in line with where we're going with the company. And how can we better support John in that? I don't want to bash, oh, John, man, you should leave that company. Their rates suck. Their rates may suck. But I don't need to say that. John will know when we do a pricing comparison. John, you don't need to go there, or you need to quit working there. That company's, they're slowly dying. Okay, they may be slowly dying. I don't need to, again, bring that up. So I think the one thing that a mortgage recruiter, or really any recruiter, right? Again, it could be someone in the medical field. It could be somebody working in programming. Don't make it about the other company sucking. Make it about why your company's a better fit, why this candidate is better in line with your company's vision and their personal vision, and how you can help them achieve their goals faster, more efficient, etc. So that would be the one thing. I said there's two things that I see on the recruiting trail that I'm like, God, they're just not being upfront with you. It's the use of pro formas. Now, I love a pro forma. A pro forma, for those that don't know, it's a financial document that allows us to forecast, prognosticate, hypothesize what somebody's financial setup could look like. Like, let's say you were running your own business, or even at T-Lop. Like at T-Lop, when you and I built the website, actually Dennis built it, but under our direction. And then I started saying, hey, John, this podcast is going some places. I think we can monetize it through X, Y, and Z. I drafted a pro forma. It's just a loose hypothesis based on data as to how much revenue we could generate, at what expenses, and at which timelines were realistic. So you should always demand to see a pro forma if you are looking at running your own branch or running your own region, or you should, if you're trying to raise money and you own your own company, you should be able to go to your investors with your actual financials as well as forward-looking, or a pro forma that shows anticipated revenue and expenses based on hitting certain growth KPIs or growth matrix. And anyhow, so I love the pro forma. But the minute we start getting further out than 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, I think at that point we're doing ourselves and our audience a disservice. Like, when you think about that, it's like, let me talk to you about, hey, John, what do you want to do next Christmas? What's your life going to look like? Like, do you have an idea?
Or like in real life?
In real life. Yeah, because we're recording this September, October of 2024. I'm trying to talk to you about December of 2025, let alone, hey, let's talk summer of 26.
Yeah.
Where do you think you and your wife want to go for vacation? How much vacation time are you going to have? Where do you think you're going to be working? How much money do you think you're going to be making, John?
Can you slow down?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So if there's somewhere where I think my industry I'll speak about, but I think other industries as well, I think a pro forma is well deserved and well needed. I think once you get outside of about 12 months, I'm like, yo, bro, like I don't know. We don't know where the market's going to be. We don't know where interest rates are going to be. We don't know how big the war in the Middle East is going to be. We don't know if Russia's done in Ukraine and whether or not China went into Taiwan. Like, we don't know what happened to the election and who controls the House and the Senate. There's so many things that we just don't know. Mm-hmm. And then when I start seeing these pro formas, and then what I love seeing is that some recruiters that I've talked to throughout my career will start showing me all these awesome numbers. And every time I look at the bottom line, I'm like, damn, look at all that money I'm going to make. Damn, look at all that money I'm going to make. Holy cow, I'm rich. But what's not solved for inside of that pro forma is every time I add units and volume, I'm going to be adding expenses too. Rarely can you add units and volume without adding expenses. And expenses would be, well, if I'm adding 3 more loan officers to my branch, those loan officers are bringing revenue, but I may need to hire another processor. Well, there's an expense. If I hired these 3 loan officers and another processor, is my rent going to stay at $5,000 a month, or is it going to go to $8,000 a month because I need more space? Are my credit reports going to stay at that current credit report bill that you've estimated when my branch was in its infancy, or if I go from 3 loan officers to 8 loan officers, is my credit report bill going to go up? Right? There's so many of these variables that what ends up happening is that I see some recruiters in this space wanting to sell this pie in the sky. Look at these numbers. Look how great it looks in 2 and 3 years. However, I would like to believe they didn't do it intentionally. I would like to believe they just did it because they were rushing through, because their formula isn't formatted as accurate as it should be. But I've seen enough of them that if I were to talk to someone being recruited, I would say, hey, look, if the recruiter starts talking shit about your current company or the other companies, that might not be a good fit. That may be a telltale sign. Something about that company's culture may be out of whack. Or if the company really wants to start selling you on that pro forma 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you need to make sure that the expenses are growing in proportion to the units, the volume, and the revenue. Like, just look out for that. And if they're not, that's the first question you should ask. Your spidey senses should go up. And if you don't like the answer, that could be because somebody's trying to dupe you. And if you're out recruiting, please know this. Word of advice. Quit talking shit and make sure your pro formas are accurate. Accurate. If you want to go 3, 5 years out, go 3, 5 years out. But I'm going to tell you, my advice, stick to the next 12, maybe 18 months max. All right, the last one. You ready for it? I said 3, 2, 1, right? 3 media, 2 recruiters, and 1
We're
is your
almost out of
manager.
here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Who's the one? The manager?
No, it's like, this is where your manager does you wrong type thing, right? And I'm going to use this one because I failed miserably for a decade as a manager doing this. I'm sure there's from time to time I still fall back into the old habits.
Okay.
Yeah, as Hank Williams Jr. sang back in the 1970s, old habits are hard to break. It's a good song. You should look it up, John. It's one of those country and western songs, but nonetheless,
westerns.
it's country. It's country. It's like, it's outlaw country.
Hank Williams Jr.
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, he did the Monday Night Football intro.
He did. Yep. For a long time. Now he doesn't do it anymore.
Go Raiders.
Okay. I mean, you and Antonio Pierce, but
Yeah.
have fun with that one. Do you call them the LA Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders?
Always Oakland Raiders, sir.
All right, go for it. There, with Bo Jackson, number 34.
Best athlete that ever lived.
Yeah, Rich Gannon.
He made it to the Super Bowl.
He did.
Lost to the Tampa Bay
Buccaneers.
with Brad Johnson at the quarterback.
Possibly,
Holy shit.
Yeah, John Lynch was on
Yeah.
that team. Rondé Barber.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman was running the ball, I think.
Mike
We can
Alst-
keep going. Mike
Mike
Allstott
Allstott.
at fullback. Yeah.
The days.
I probably couldn't name
Derek
the wide
Brooks?
receivers. Derek Brooks, yeah, Florida State guy.
Oh, nah. Joey Galloway. Maybe.
Oh, Joey Galloway. He's a great commentator.
He is, yeah.
He's a really good commentator.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yes. Damn. Were you living in Tampa during that? That was
No, that was deep. Actually, no, I was in. No, but I liked Tampa ever since like back in the day. Mike Allstott was my favorite player.
Yeah, he's a beast. All right, so totally got sidetracked, but nonetheless, what I was saying is that as a manager, I failed here, and from time to time, I still probably fall back into those old habits. And that's what I talked about. Hank Jr., you went Raiders. Somehow we went Buccaneers. And then freaking rabbit hole just opened up.
That's what I said. Purple scissors. I can say something like, well, as a matter of fact.
But so here are the standards. I'm not like, you have a bad manager if A, you can't get a hold of them. If B, they don't mentor and coach you. If C,
you use T-Lop as your manager.
Well, I want you using T-Lop as your manager.
but
Don't get me wrong,
I know, but that's what you know you have a bad-
T-Lop should be the accentuator, the accelerant to a good manager.
Right.
Like, we should be the cool uncle that comes in. We shouldn't be the only father figure in the family.
Who are these kids? Who the hell are where y'all come from?
Yeah, like exactly. Like that's you need to have really good parents, and we get to come in to be the cool uncle, et cetera, right? But so I'm not talking about like a standard operating procedure. Your manager's available. Your manager invests in you. Your manager has a sales culture at the branch level that you dig, like it benefits you. There is a culture. It's not toxic. It's a positive culture. More than likely, they have systems and processes that you can tie into, and they're the type of professional you want to be more like. Like, those are 5 things. If you don't have that as a manager today, let's talk. First name Dustin, last name Owen, LinkedIn. I might not be the guy that knows the right manager for you, but I promise you, we can pull up Google. I can see what market you're in, and I can give you a good idea of who would give you the best opportunity to be a better support system. But I will tell you, between me and my partner, Aaron Hahn, we are very well connected from Spokane to Key West and everywhere in between. And if you would like to have a confidential conversation about your career, dude, I'll spend 15 minutes with you. Aaron will spend 15 minutes with you. 4 times out of 7, we're probably going to tell you your current setup's the best one for you, and we'll tell you why. 2 times out of 7, we're probably going to have a person for you to talk to in your market that's going to be worth interviewing. And look, you may interview and learn, damn, you have it really good at your current employer. Cool. Now you can triple down your efforts, refocus, and go be the best professional you can be. Or you may learn, damn, there may be someone out there who's a better leader. Let me further that conversation. And then 1 time out of 7, we are going to recommend that you talk to somebody. But again, that's when we do the Google search, because we might not have an exact contact in your specific market. We're building this out as we go. But right now, Aaron and I are both dedicated to giving back to the TLOP community, and we're not charging you all anything for this. So just keep that in mind. Just reach out to me. Would love to help you. But no, the number one thing, if your branch manager is trying to manage you as if you're them, they got it wrong. They got it wrong. I got it wrong for a decade. Managers, you're getting it wrong. Like, stop. They're not you for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they're not you. You will every now and again come across somebody who wants to be just like you, at which point you'll know exactly how to coach them, manage them, hold them accountable. You'll know what makes them tick. You'll know what buttons to push. It'll be amazing, but we call those outliers. Our job as managers is to help our people become the best versions of them. In order to do so, we have to get to know them. Once we get to know them, then we can help them by improving 1% better per day, by making small, digestible changes, bite size, digestible changes. And ultimately, what we're looking for is a 20% improvement. If I can help John improve 20% over the next 18 to 36 months as their manager, if I can let John tie into my systems and my processes, and I'm going to coach and mentor him, and I'm going to lead by example, and I'm going to create a sales culture that he's going to want to be a part of, then I'm doing John the biggest service, because I'm being that branch manager of John's dreams. But the minute I start trying to impose what I did, who I am, what I've achieved onto John, that's not what John wants. I got to get to know John. What does he want? And from there, I can encourage him to maybe think bigger. I can encourage him to maybe work a little bit harder or a little bit smarter. But please know, you will fail miserably if you keep on trying to force people to be just like you. So if you're on the other end of that, you want to find a manager who gets that. Because those that don't, those that get it wrong, hey, that's kind of the title of this episode. Here's where they get it wrong. They being your manager gets it wrong every time. They try to push themselves onto you. What worked for them, what made them tick, life just doesn't work that way. By the way, parenting doesn't work that way, right? That's why there's books, relationships. There's books called the 5 love languages, right? The way that I like to be loved might not be how my wife likes to be loved. Management and being managed works the same exact way.
Well said, Dustin.
So, John, how about this? If you like this type of stuff and you want more of it, please know that we are open for webinars. We are open to travel to your event, to speak at your event. We love doing this. We want to keep doing more of this. Our job with this platform is to shape the future of the mortgage industry while also teaching the shit they didn't teach at school. We can only do this if people continue to like, sign up, subscribe, and share. So that's subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share us with not 1, not 2, but 3 people that you think would enjoy and benefit from this content. Sign up for our newsletter. That's for mortgage professionals only, tloponline.com. And when you find yourself in a rut and you need to make a change, you're looking to level up your career, you want to achieve those financial successes that you see everyone else doing, look our way for business coaching and sales training. It's called the TLOP MLL Coaching Community. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode.